The Beehive Sports Podcast is powered by Swing Juice. Visit swingjuice.com. Use promo code Beehive20. 20% off your golf and MLB PA apparel. You can get a shirt that says long as fuck with a foul pole. Like this one. Like the one I'm currently wearing. Head on over there. 20% off. Beehive20 promo code. Today's episode 47?
Is that what we're at?
I don't know. I think that's what I put on the title, so I hope so.
All right, close enough.
Yeah, today's episode, we're gonna discuss. We're starting right off with the pizza bullshit, corn,
Yinzer
whatever.
Bullshit.
Yeah, I think it's Philly, whatever. Then we're gonna get into head coaches getting locked in. All 9 spots have now been filled. Sketty's going to educate us on some Saudi Arabian PGA golf feud that's currently happening. In sports history, we'll have 5 fast facts like normal. And the things that sting, we got some old business to cover right off the bat with Trevor Bauer. Then we're going to get into a slew of arrests, including Alvin Kamara, Mac Etienne, Pete Golden, and we're going to talk about the death of Jeremy Giambi. In my hive, we will welcome back Moon and Smiles Miles Brosy, a.k.a. the gigantic fucking Andy Dalton. Let's go.
Welcome to the Beehive Sports Podcast. Here are your hosts, Joe and Sketty.
This week's opening segment brought to you by Napoli's Hungry Watching the Game. Call Napoli's Pizza, 814-723-7455. 7 days a week, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m., located in North Warren. Pickup or delivery available. Speaking of Napoli's, so yesterday was National Pizza Day. Did you get pizza yesterday?
I did not. I tried to talk Ryan into it, and she wasn't having it.
Did she know it was National Pizza Day?
Yeah, I said that, and it didn't matter. But I got overruled, but it was sad to not have it. I do love
How did you get overruled 1-1?
She's scarier than I am.
Okay. So I said speaking of Napoli's because yesterday was obviously National Pizza Day. So it is very, very few and far between times that I stray from Napoli's and get a different pizza from somewhere else. Like, it's not often. Sometimes at work we'll get 4-star because it's right in town. It's easy to get to.
Yeah.
And I like 4-star.
Yeah, it's not a bad pie.
No. But Napoli's is that's my shit, right?
Yeah. Agree. Yeah. It's not even close.
Okay, but pregnant wife says, I want a personal pan pizza.
Okay.
So you have to abide by that, right? That's being overruled. See, we talked about being overruled. You weren't overruled. I'm overruled. That's 2 against 1.
Well, she is too. She is, yeah. But, I would have told her any pizza is a personal pizza as long as you try hard and believe in yourself.
I know she's going to hear that on her own, but I am going to use that next time. But anyways, so I'm like, okay, I get on Pizza Hut's app and I get myself a stuffed crust because that's a personal pan pizza to me because I do try hard and I do believe in myself. But it says, so I go to get her a personal pan pizza and it says out of crust for personal pan pizza. And I'm like, that can't be right. That literally can't be right.
Yeah.
So I try calling Pizza Hut and you can't talk to the people who work there anymore. It goes to some fucking call center and they were like some guy I could hardly understand what he was saying, but I'm like, I'm just calling to find out, like, they can't be out of personal pan pizza crust, right? Because they're like that big around.
Yeah.
Like, send me back there. I'll take a fucking medium. I'll cut a little bit off of it, and I can make the crust myself. Like, I can do that.
Work. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
No. They're out.
No.
So I said, what does that mean? It just means that they're out. I can get a large pizza right now with the same hand tossed bullshit, but you can't make me a personal one, just a small one.
That's why you go to Napoli's,
and that's why you do go to Napoli's, and that's why I don't stray away from Napoli's, is because Napoli's I don't call and deal with bullshit like that. Even when Napoli's is out of dough, they'll post it on their Facebook page because they're considerate people.
Yep.
Yeah. Not fucking Pizza Hut, where I have to talk to somebody who's not even in the same country as I am. How does he doesn't know why there's no crust there.
Yeah, that's kind of shocking to me that there's no line to the actual store anymore.
And it's not, and it
wild.
Like, why were they out of the smallest crust that they have? How could they not make that happen?
That's what happens when you have big corporations running stuff. We have one crust designated for little personal pan pizzas, and if we're out of that, we're out of that. Tough shit.
Yeah.
Totally impossible to cut something down.
It was just unbelievable. So now that we got past that, let's get to this Barstool post that a lot of the people on the Facebook page saw last night. I'll pull it up for reference because I don't remember exactly what all of the topping. So the gist of it, if you didn't see the post on Facebook, if you're just a listener and not a watcher or a follower or whatever, the Barstool Sports posted a National Pizza Day post, which everybody associates Barstool Sports with pizza because of Portnoy and the pizza reviews. I made Devin watch 2 of them while we ate the garbage, trash, dry, scumbag, piece of shit stuffed crust pizza that I ordered by accident because I should have known better. So we watched Blaze pizza review because that's my hands down. That's my favorite.
That's a good one.
You've seen that one, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I've seen it.
So if you have not seen, if you watch pizza reviews and you don't think you've ever saw this one, YouTube, Barstool Pizza Review, Blaze Pizza. And just watch. It's like a minute and a half, and it is my favorite one by far because Portnoy and I share opinions on LeBron James. So it's
Portnoy's opinion of LeBron James didn't affect that review.
It didn't.
He states it clearly, totally unbiased.
Pizza's an honorable game.
That's right.
So, anyways, in honor of National Pizza Day, Barstool posted a map of the United States and each state's favorite topping. So I don't know who voted for these or how these came about. But obviously the number one in most states is pepperoni, which should have been Pennsylvania also. I think that should have been every fucking state.
Correct.
Sausage was number 2, mushroom, black olives. Number 6 on this list, and allegedly Pennsylvania's choice for number 1 pizza topping, corn.
Yins are bullshit.
You think it's Pittsburgh's fault?
Has to be, because the only other state that had corn was West Virginia. Where is West Virginia close to?
That's
Pittsburgh,
a fair point.
Not Philly. So there's somebody down there in that corner that's making a fucking corn pizza of some sort, and they're ruining it for everybody, giving everybody up here a bad name.
Yeah, they did give us a bad name. If you read the comments on that post, people were like, what the hell's going on in Pennsylvania?
I could at least respect, like, what was it Wisconsin that had tuna?
I can't respect that either. And no, it's Minnesota.
That's a meat.
It's
Minnesota. I couldn't remember. Yeah. Couldn't remember which one.
And Ron, who lives in Wisconsin, commented on the post and said, I've been to Minnesota a truckload of times. I've never once seen anybody or heard of anybody eating tuna on their pizza.
Yep. I mean, the corn thing, it makes no sense unless you're talking about like a Bob's Trading Post mashed potato pizza. Like, no.
And then avocado, California and Arizona.
Well, that makes sense to me. They're weird out there. that one doesn't shock me at all.
Nothing else really sticking out except for, carrots. What's that, New Mexico?
I don't
New
know.
Mexico.
They don't have
New Mexico. New Mexico is carrots.
Jeez.
Again, I'm just not buying it. Like, obviously, Barstool just has something against those few states that they're. It has to be.
Has to be.
Because I want to know who. I want to know who was polled. And it doesn't say where these results came from.
It up.
Probably. And here we are complaining about something that they don't even take serious yet. So that's probably true. All right. Yeah. We'll move on from the corn thing, but spread the word to anybody you know who lives out of state. We do not eat fucking corn on our pizza. We love corn. Corn on the cob is fantastic.
Corn on the cob is great. Wonderful.
Right.
Wonderful treat.
Not with pizza or on pizza.
No.
Yeah, you don't mix those two. So after tonight, one episode remaining before our well-deserved month off, and we're gonna smash our heads together and come up with some brand new great ideas for the next season, I guess is what we're supposed to call it. The one thing I did want to note is that because we might not cover some stuff this week that people are going to be like, I can't believe they didn't cover that. Like the games going overseas that was just announced. Germany's getting a couple. There's going to be one in Mexico again. I'm saving all that for next week because next week's going to be Super Bowl and then, kind of what's to come, what we have to look forward to. Let the month off happen and all the stuff that transpires in that. I mean, the first episode back might end up being a long one for that reason, but we're willing to, take the long episode, get caught up, and enjoy the time off. Next week, the final episode of the season is an important one for everybody who listens, tunes in live, all of that, because we're going to be posting the link in the comments. And at any point during the show, if you want to join, you can. We're going to have anybody who wants to come on. Come on. You saw what you need, basically. Some sort of setup with a camera. Headphones will make it better for you experience-wise if you're listening or if you're actually on it. So just keep that in mind if you plan on jumping on. And hopefully we get a few people to come on. I mean, it'd be cool if we were like having people on so long that we had to boot them off so that new people could come on. Yeah. That'd be ideal. But we'll see. We'll see how that works out. So just remember that we're going to be promoting that all. I'm probably starting Monday every day. I'm going to put something up reminding everybody that the link will be in the comments, and all you'll have to do is click it. It'll take you to the page where you can punch your name in, and you join us, and we're going to have this show written out like normal, and you just chime in, jump in the conversation or whatever the hell we're talking about. So I think that'll be fun especially if we get some. I'm hoping for like people that we wouldn't expect that like watch and maybe don't ever comment, but they're like jumping in. Yeah, feet first. So there's my headline for that I forgot to put up. There it is. Open invitation. And I'm also thinking too, like a little bit of a year in review where we'll kind of talk about stuff we did on different shows and pros and cons. I mean, we can make this like a board meeting for listeners to say what they want to see more of, less of, whatever.
Yep.
So let's get to it. Opening segment, couple things we're going to discuss here. Obviously, we have the fan rant and waiting and another jam-packed things that sting. There's like 4 or 5 arrests that we're going to get to talk about. But let's get to the head coaches. So 9 spots were available. They are now all full, technically. The Vikings spot is not agreed to terms, or they have agreed to terms or something. Can't be announced until after the Rams are done, which obviously they're playing Sunday, so that one can't, but we'll get to the Vikings here in a minute. But 9 spots, 9 coaches. Bears, Matt Eberflus. Is that how you say his last name?
I have no idea, honestly. All I know is Colts had a pretty good defense there for a little bit, so might be an okay hire.
And the Bears. What Nagy was more of an offensive guy, right?
Yeah,
it'll be interesting to see how that one plays out. He's former Colts DC. Broncos, Nathaniel Hackett, Packers offensive coordinator, also former Buffalo Bills offensive coordinator. So I actually experienced that guy a little bit.
I think that's a pretty blatant move to try and entice Rodgers to want to come there.
It's possible.
I mean, I just don't. LaFleur's
You mean the guy who everybody wants to talk shit on, but then they want him on his team?
Oh no, that's James Garoppolo. That's you're incorrect about that.
I commented back to you on the post.
I told you Brazzers likes winning.
Bros wants Jimmy Garoppolo. No NFL teams do.
Yeah, because NFL teams don't like winning. Brian Flores has basically outed that to us. So they're going to say, wow, we don't want Jimmy. I can understand it. You're used to losing for so long.
He'd be a great bridge quarterback for a team that was looking to pay their coach to lose games. Just let him throw 40
All he does
times.
Is win. All he does is win.
That's because they hide him.
8-28. They couldn't hide Nick
I'm going to share with the world what Sketty said to me in a text message today, where he made it a what's the word I'm looking for? Implication that Jimmy G's better than Josh Allen.
Yeah. I mean, hey, how many Super Bowls has Josh Allen been to?
I mean, Jimmy G has a ring.
Jimmy G also has a ring. I wasn't even talking about that.
It's just unfortunate that the one he actually played in, he didn't get a ring.
Well, hey, at least he played in one, bud. He's only played 2 full seasons. He's only played 2 full seasons, and he went to 2 NFC Championship games.
Well, if that's the case, then I would say Jim Kelly's up there in the top 3 of all time, right? If just getting to a Super Bowl means you're the best.
Jim Kelly's a heck of a quarterback. He's better than a lot of quarterbacks.
He is. He must be. He's played in 4 Super Bowls.
Well, one of them was his idiot kicker's fault.
Poor Scott. He's been forgiven. Didn't you watch the Four Falls of Buffalo? He's been forgiven.
I was actually watching a thing about Vanderjagt the other day, and the miss that he had against the Steelers when, Ben ran down, I think it was like Nick Harper. And Vanderjagt just the one comment made in the video was, well, at least Norwood only missed his wide right by a foot. Vanderjagt was not even close. It's a straight shank. It looked like you on number 8 at the club. Just shank straight into the woods.
Number 8. Oh, yeah. I could be aiming OB left, and I would still put it in the woods on the right on that hole.
It's a popular spot.
I find a lot of Pro V1s in there, though.
Oh, yeah. That's a great place to go walking.
That's a honey hole. Yeah, if you
yes, it is.
Want to go for a stroll in the woods on a slow day at the club, you can pull a whole fucking box of balls out of that place.
Yes, you
for
can.
Sure.
Yes, you can.
Anyway, where are we at? Texans, Lovie Smith. This one I find very interesting because Texans, he was the D coordinator, so he's just getting a promotion. Had a lot of success with the Bears. I mean, he was the coach of the year with the Bears. He had a Super Bowl appearance in which they lost, but he was there.
Yep.
Then he goes to the Bucks, where he puts up an 8-24 record. Then he goes to Illinois. He's heading backwards. He goes into the Big Ten. Coaches Illinois 17-39, and then back to coordinating in the NFL, and now getting another shot at head coach. So it'll be really fascinating to watch that one because I always kind of liked Lovie Smith, honestly.
Yeah.
And I like him even more now because he's got a giant gray beard and he just kind of looks he looks like a badass. So I hope he does well there. I mean, that franchise is just all fucked up anyways.
Yep.
So, but at least he he has been in the locker room, knows the guys, so maybe he can get something going there. And if Mills Mafia pans out, then he's got himself a little quarterback. That is, if Deshaun's not on Mean Machine here too long. But I don't know. But so that's a good one to keep an eye on for sure, just because there's been success at the NFL level and there's been a huge failure at the NFL level. So he's seen the both sides, of the spectrum about as far each way as you could go. Jags, Doug Peterson. This is probably the one that everybody's the most thrilled with, I think, from what I've read.
I think it's the worst hire. Worst hire. Absolutely terrible.
Let's hear this.
Terrible hire.
I sense a flaming hot take coming from your mouth now.
All right. So first off, what are you going to say? Doug Peterson has a Super Bowl. Well, Frank Reich helped him out big time on that. And then the guy completely fell apart. I think he's a dog shit coach. We're going to put in Nate Sudfeld when we're up in week, whatever it was, 16 then. They were playing, who are they playing? The
division game.
Yeah, it was a division game. And if they would have won, it would have put the Giants. Yeah, they would have put the Giants in the playoffs.
I think they laid down and Washington got in because
They laid down, which to me is just the biggest bitch move ever. And you're telling me, we had to see what we had in Nate Sudfeld? Come on, man. Come on. The guy's
I forgot about that.
Joke. Players don't take him serious. It's a typical Jacksonville thing. Keep the losing coming.
Yeah, I totally forgot about that.
The Super Bowl run
and Week 17 game.
Yeah, well, and the Super Bowl run was just purely because Carson Wentz looked like an MVP for a year, which Frank Reich, I don't know what kind of magic whispering he was doing to make that guy look good, but goes down with the injury, and then Nick Foles has this amazing run. It was a fluke. Guy's a fluke.
I could get on board with that being a fluke playoff run for sure, because Nick Foles has never been good anywhere.
Yeah.
Anywhere.
Exactly. Yep. Carson Wentz hasn't been good anywhere.
That is true also.
He had one year where he was in the MVP talks. He was good that year, but I think it's
Peterson is the only one from what I could tell who was unemployed up until he got this head coaching job. We have Josh McDaniel going to Las Vegas. And he has not bailed on them yet. So
I don't love this hire either, but
I don't either. I was just waiting. I wanted him to pull Colts again, where he got the job, started assembling a staff, and then left. A couple comments from Terry. He says Peterson has a Super Bowl, so does Trent Dilfer.
Exactly.
And Brad Johnson, remember that guy?
Yeah, Brad Johnson. Yep.
He is a Super Bowl.
Brad Johnson. Yep.
All right, so I'm with you though, Josh McDaniel. I don't love that hire. I think he's another one of Belichick's guys who, without Belichick, doesn't really have it.
Yeah.
Dolphins hire allegedly Mike McDaniel. I would argue that he actually hired my cousin. They hired my cousin-in-law Phil. So that's. I'm not going to tell you which one's Phil. You can figure it out. If you can figure it out, you can figure it out. But
if you would have cropped out a little more of the SF on McDaniel's shirt, I don't think people would be able to tell.
That's true. I did give it away, didn't I?
There'd be 3 people out there that could tell you which one's the NFL coach.
Right. So I text Phil right away because I was not sure if he just wasn't telling us. And I called him an idiot because now he has to coach against Josh Allen twice a year, which nobody wants to do that. And Phil corrected me and said, no, actually, Allen has to play against my team twice a year. So I'm still not sold that it's not Phil who's coaching that team, but I just couldn't get over how much those two. When I saw that dude initially, I was like, well, Phil?
No offense to Phil, but I don't think this is a very good hire for the Dolphins.
I don't.
I mean, Shanahan runs that offense there. He does everything. Maybe McDaniel learns something from him. It's possible. But like when I look at the dude, I just think to myself, how is any serious football player going to handle this guy like getting in their face saying, hey, Waddle, get out there and make that play. And he's going to go, get the fuck out of here, you little dweeb.
Do you think they don't do that anymore, though? You're not allowed to do that anymore.
That's true.
You're not allowed to get in players. If you get in players' faces, you get Urban Meyered.
Yeah, that's true.
You get accused of kicking people, and you just have to keep everything's socially distanced, and coaches just got to be careful with that stuff now, or they'll be fired in a heartbeat. But I agree. I know what you're saying though. Like it. Lovie Smith.
Yeah.
I look at Lovie Smith. Yeah, football guy. This guy, I've probably rolled him up on Call of Duty Hardcore Kill Confirmed a couple times. That's kind of what I think.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's great because the Niners get 2 third-round picks. God bless.
Because this is a quote from Adam Schefter. Because Mike McDaniel identifies as biracial. So he didn't, and that was the comments I was loving, because people were like, wouldn't he just be biracial then? Like, he doesn't have to identify that way. It's literally what he is.
He is. Yeah, he is. I didn't get the full story, but I remember I had no idea. I thought he was just chalk white. Like, I was upset when they hired him away. I'm like, yeah, great. But yeah, 2 third-round picks. We'll take it.
That's an amazing rule. Vikings, Kevin O'Connell. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. No, I was just saying, hopefully, you might see him make Waddle try and do a little bit of Debo action with him, but maybe they bring something interesting wrinkle to that offense. They could make it work with Garoppolo. You'd assume they could make it work with, Tua.
Vikings.
Yep.
Kevin O'Connell. Like I said, they can't announce him yet. He's still coordinating this coming weekend. So that was gonna be possibly a Harbaugh job, and now it's come out that Harbaugh has said he's not taking anything NFL wise ever. Now this was his kind of last look at it.
Yeah, I mean, if the Rams come out and score 3 points again in the Super Bowl, maybe they call Harbaugh back and say, "Hey, here's some more money. Please come. We don't want this ball." You never know. You never know.
They have scored 3 points in a Super Bowl before.
Recently.
Yeah, it was not that long ago. Saints, Dennis Allen. I think this was the one a lot of people were scratching their heads at too. He's had a stint in the NFL, but it was last coach 2014. He went 8-24 with the Raiders and was fired. So he earns somehow the spot. I don't know if it's because he did have prior employment with them as well. I don't know when the last time was. Was he this year?
He was their defensive coordinator. Unless I misunderstood something. The way I read it was he was the defensive coordinator, and they basically just promoted him to head coach.
Okay,
your defense has been pretty good. That would make sense if that's the case. But yeah, that one kind of just came out of nowhere, I felt.
And go ahead.
No, that's all I was going to say. I didn't hear, never heard the name mentioned.
Last but not least, probably the best hire of all of these coaches, Brian Dable, the man, the myth, the legend, built Josh Allen into an absolute unit. You haven't. I really
like this hire.
Oh, you do?
Yeah. I know. I actually. This is the one hire
too, but I was kind of being like a smart ass at the same time.
No, this is actually the one hire that I think follows a rule I personally would follow if I was an NFL owner. Is you don't want McDermott's a defensive coach, so you don't want his defensive coordinator. They have a hell of an offense. I want his offensive coordinator because he's not doing anything. Like the Jets when they hired Saleh, I think that Saleh built that defense. That's a good hire. McDaniel, we'll see.
Yeah, I like Dable in Buffalo. I know that there are a lot of people who disagree with that, and I honestly, number wise, I don't see how they've played so well offensively the last 2 years. He's really helped develop Allen. And it's a huge question mark as to what they're going to do at quarterback at New York, because there's a lot of people who think this guy could turn Daniel Jones into an effective passer.
Yep.
I guess we will see. But the pipeline from the Bills to the Giants has begun, because there's already a couple coaches who followed, some players who I can't remember if they're like futures deals or what. I think Davis Webb, who's Buffalo's backup quarterback to Mitch Trubisky, so he'd be third string. I believe he went. He was on the practice squad or whatever. But that I'm already seeing what I witnessed for the last 3-4 years in Buffalo and Carolina, because Bean and McDermott both coming from Carolina, the pipeline of players that came to Buffalo from Carolina has just been, it's got to be in the double digits. So I expect to see something similar go on with Buffalo and New York. What I'm hoping is that they may give us a little discount on a trade for old Saquon, because I would like to see him. I'd like to see him in a new, just a new atmosphere and a fresh start. I think that's something he could definitely use, because that kid has way too much talent to be having the production and season. I mean, of course, injuries have played a part in that, but I think a fresh start would be good for him. Yep. So I hope that that's in Southwest New York. Moon says, Zach Taylor was the OC during the 3-point performance. I think what Sketty was insinuating is that if O'Connell mimics that in the big game, he may. Well, I mean, I guess to Paul's point, though, it still got Zach Taylor a job, and he's right back there again.
Sure sounds like history's about to repeat itself to me.
All right, we're going to move on here. I think it's about the last thing we have to discuss. Sketty is going to educate us a little bit on some golf drama.
Yeah, so if you follow golf at all, it was a big topic this week because there was the Pro-Am at Pebble Beach, and some of the big names were absent. They got waivers to go over and play the Saudi Invitational, which was first played in 2019 on the European Tour. And then there was talk about this. The first one I could find is the Premier Golf League. So what this league would be was they would pay golfers whatever, $30 million to sign on with the league. They'd come play with them. It'd be like an 18 tournament schedule across the world. There was like 10 events in the U.S., a couple in Europe, a couple in the Middle East, a couple in Asia. The difference in this is instead of playing 72-hole tournaments, they would be playing 54-hole tournaments. There would be a team aspect to it and an individual aspect to it. So basically what it boils down to is there might be this new league coming. It's been talked about for years, backed by Saudi money, where they're going to try and pry some of these top golfers away from the PGA. Now, the PGA is staunchly against this. They've already said anybody who leaves to go play on this tour would be banned from the PGA and the European Tour. There's a partnership between them now. They would be banned from ever. It doesn't say ever again, but you would not be allowed to come play majors. You wouldn't be able to come play tournaments, anything of that sort.
So it's
again,
not
with the Saudi.
It's not a life ban. It's not a life ban, though. It's a.
Since there's so much, since this league isn't real yet, there's not a lot of specifics to it. They didn't specifically say a lifetime ban, but they did say we would ban you from the tour if you go over there and play.
Okay.
Or
so
play
they
for
can't.
This league.
They can't go play in that league and then come back for the Masters.
Yeah.
You're either with us or you're not.
Exactly. That's their way to combat this because, again, they're offering big money or allegedly offering big money. The rumor was that DeChambeau was offered like $135 million. He denies that was the case. But just for comparison, Tiger Woods' career earnings on the tour, and this is just golf earnings, not his sponsorships, $124 million. So if you're going to give Bryson $135 just to sign up and play, what's he do?
Right.
Now, on top of the money that they would get paid, They would also be playing for each one of these 18 tournaments or whatever it would end up being. There'd be a $20 million purse. I think the biggest purse on tour right now is the players, and that's like 15 million roughly. So basically they're playing for a lot more money. The fields would be a lot smaller. Again, I'm going off the Premier Golf League. This is just a rumored thing to be happening. There's nothing set in stone. But there'd be like fields of 48 guys. So you're guaranteed to make the cut. You know, last place is guaranteed 150 grand on top of the money you're already making. Some of the big names, Rory's said that he's staunchly against this. Brooks said that he doesn't want any part of it. Tiger's not in. But Phil, he's kind of entertained it. He's kind of said, this is interesting. And so is Dustin Johnson. He's kind of said, you know, if they put this thing together and the money's right, we might look into this. So the reason I brought this up to you is because I had a discussion with Craig and Hank. Will someone leave to go play in this thing? Like, what would you do if you're these guys? You make John Rahm's the number 44 player, or I'm sorry, John Rahm's the number 1 player in the world right now. He's 44 in career earnings on the PGA Tour at $31 million. So if someone calls you and says, hey, we're going to give you $30 million, you're going to play for up to $4 million a week, what do you do?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's a lot of money. You know, I'm thinking personally, you know, if you're a Dustin Johnson and you're kind of on the way out of your career, you're kind of in the twilight of it, or Phil, if they're going to give you, again, 30, 40, $50 million just to come play 18 tournaments, why are you not doing it? Because you're playing for more money on top of that.
Yeah.
You know, Phil's not going to win.
I mean, financially, it definitely makes sense. My question is, where's this coming from? Like, what's the angle from Saudi Arabia that they're so interested in getting this together?
So what the speculation is that Saudi's putting money behind it because they have the whole bad reputation with that, whatever, the reporter that was killed. They're trying to, I think the quote I saw was sports wash all the evil shit that they're doing over there. So again, it's kind of a PR stunt, basically, is what it is.
That's a bad country.
Which is one of the points that Rory made. Like, where's your money coming from? Is it worth it for you to go play for blood money?
Yeah. Yeah, and like I was talking with neighbor Tim, right before we went on, and that was one of the points he made when I was talking about that. Is he said he hasn't looked too much into it, which I hadn't either. I was waiting for you to educate me. And he said that I think a lot of the issue people are taking with this is because the percentage of dirt poor people in that country is huge. And you're either, there's really like no middle class. You're either loaded rich or you have nothing. And I think that was what Tim said was kind of like one of the beefs he saw with it is that he believed that people are taking issue with it for that reason. And these rich, the rich are just pushing this money together to get all this talent over there. So yeah, we'll have to. Did they have like a potential launch date or anything that they're?
I've seen. So the thing about this is the Premier Golf League was the first one that was like a year ago. That was the one catching steam. Rory said that they've been talking to him about it since 2014. A couple articles I found tonight said they initially were planning on starting tournaments this year. Another article I said they're planning on starting tournaments in 2023. But the thing is, nobody's been signed. No manufacturers have signed on to do this. Although I did see Lee Westwood, and I feel like there was one more, and I didn't write his name down, but they have NDAs. They can't discuss this. So they've signed some sort of non-disclosure agreement with this league that says they can't talk about it. And Lee Westwood's one of the people that said, at my age, if you offer me, $50 million to come play, I'm going. I don't need to play, I don't need to do Ryder Cups. I don't need to do majors. But the question is, what's the PGA do in response to this? Because they can't come up with the kind of money the Saudi government could put behind it.
Right. Yeah.
I just
They're
think
gonna
it's
have to come up with
watch
something awfully enticing if they're going to keep all the guys around. But it sounds like a good chunk of them aren't even entertaining it anyways. I mean, the PGA has always
it's
been
hard.
Good.
Yeah, exactly. PGA is an institution. You're not going against that. But like John Rahm said that, I told my agents I don't want to hear anything about it until there's actually something on paper and this thing is put together. So I think if they get to a point where this thing is a little more real, we might see some people jump ship.
Right.
So it's just something interesting to kind of keep your eye on for the future. Might happen. Maybe we see something this fall. That was the initial thing. They said after the FedEx Cup this fall, they would start, trying to get things a little more together. So,
well, this story is your baby.
I will make sure I'm following it.
You will be responsible for keeping us all up to speed on what is happening in Saudi Arabia Golf.
It does seem to disappear for months at a time, so we'll see.
All right, one last thing before we close out opening. I did just want to you might have seen the posts I put up on the page. I did just want to give a quick shout out to Justice Green and Ben White for getting invitations to the Big 30 All-Star Classic. That game actually, and I've only ever been to it once. And when I went, it was when Sean Wilson, who I think was a year ahead of me, maybe 2. But Sean got invited and played in the game and laid one of the biggest hits on a dude from New York that I think I've ever seen in my life in person. I think it was on a punt return. I don't know. I have to ask him to get the full story, but I just remember him. I think he was the gunner, and he ran down and just absolutely lit a kid up. That was my only memory. And besides that, if people go way back, the one kind of big meaning to me personally that the Big 30 game has is in '98 when my cousin Ryan, who was a senior in high school at Eisenhower, he was elected to go play in that game and passed away in a car crash on the way back from a practice because they satellited the practices so that each school hosted one and it was fair driving for everybody. And Ryan, unfortunately, passed away in a crash prior to the game. And they actually painted his number 6 in the end zones for that year, just in his memory. So it was pretty cool. So I don't follow that game incredibly closely, but it does have a little bit of meaning to me just because of that. And so it's cool that a couple Warren kids that I do know, Ben, who I played basketball with a couple times, he might be the fastest kid I've ever seen, and then Justice, obviously District Attorney Rob Green's son. So just wanted to give them a quick shout out. And as we wrap up opening, Napoli's, never shy away from them for Pizza Hut. You will be so fucking disappointed. Because I did that and I'm never doing it again. It's just never going to happen. So opening segment brought to you by Napoli's. Hungry watching the game? Call Napoli's. It's 814-723-7455, 7 days a week, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. You missed them for National Pizza Day, but luckily they're open all year long. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back with This Week in Sports History.
Hungry? Watching the game? Order some Napoli's Pizza, voted the best pizza in the Times Observer Reader's Choice every year. Homemade, hand-tossed, delicious hot pizza, stromboli, salads, subs, and so much more. Located in North Warren, come on in or call 814-723-7455 and ask about our specials. Pickup or delivery available 7 days a week, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Again, that's 814-723-7455.
Hi, this is Brian Hagberg, and I wanted to take a moment and tell you about our new website, yourdailylocal.com. Your Daily Local is your new home for news, sports, and events in Warren County and beyond. Our goal is to cover the people, places, events, and happenings that matter to you in a variety of ways, including writing, video, and audio. And the best part? All of our content is available for free. Head to yourdailylocal.com to get the news you need when you need it.
Let's take a look back at this week in sports history.
This week in sports history brought to you by Your Daily Local. Visit yourdailylocal.com for the news you need when you need it. All right. 5 fast ones. Ready, Sketty?
Mm-hmm.
1958, 21 dead in an air crash at Munich Airport. 8 players and 3 staff were from Manchester United Soccer Club. It says football. It's soccer, though.
Yeah.
But still an unfortunate event in 1958. Number 2, 1969, Diane Crump, no related to Don Crump, no relation, becomes the first woman jockey at a major U.S. racetrack. Have you ever seen jockeys like up close?
Not up close, but I know they are tiny, tiny humans.
When I worked at Doc Holiday's in Erie, all of the jockeys would come over from Presque Isle, and some of those dudes could barely see over the bar top. It is amazing.
Oh, yeah.
They are extremely little.
Yeah, you get the tiniest human you can. You want the horse to go faster. Right,
which to me makes sense why they should have had women doing it before.
Yeah, exactly.
So Good on Diane Crump. No relation to Don Crump, Donald Crump. Barrier breaker, Diane. Number 3, golfing on the moon. Where's this at? American astronaut Alan Shepard is the first person to hit a golf ball on the moon. Bonus fact, Mike Crosley is the first person I've ever seen hit a golf ball to the moon. Witnessed that in person. You froze up. Are you back?
I'm back. Yeah, I've been running the hotspot off my phone, and it said that I used up my hotspot allowance. So we're on the regular Wi-Fi now.
You're still on a data plan? It's 2022.
No, I have unlimited. No, I have unlimited, but you can only use the hotspot for so much. I've been using bullshit. The hotspot for every show. Did you even hear number 3 or no? Well, I heard golfing on the moon. So yeah, Neil Armstrong, moon landing.
No, Alan Shepard.
Oh, Alan Shepard. Forgive me.
Yeah, Alan hit the first golf ball on the moon, and I said bonus fact. Yep. Mike Crosley's the first person I ever saw hit a golf ball to the moon.
He does hit piss missiles. That's an absolute fact.
Into orbit.
Yes.
Number 4, 1989, tennis star Bjorn Borg apparently attempts suicide in Milan. So this is, according to Borg, bullshit. But basically what happened was he fell ill to food poisoning, very, very bad. He took 2 sleeping pills because he wanted to go to bed because he felt like shit, and woke up in a hospital getting his stomach pumped. So the media ran with this as a suicide attempt because just prior to this incident, like a bunch of shit went south for him. Like he started sucking at tennis, some failed relationship kind of things. So they all, like, the media ran with this as a suicide attempt, and he just kind of never really released a statement. So everybody just always thought that. And it wasn't until later that he came out and was like, no, I was just sick. I wanted to fucking go to bed. This one's for you, my friend. 1981 to 1988, Scott Hamilton and Brian Boitano just dominate the U.S. male figure skating championships. I know you were a huge fan of the sport, specifically Brian Boitano.
What would Brian Boitano do if he were here right now?
If he was here right now,
I'm sure he'd probably kick an ass or two.
That's what Brian Boitano do. I follow you.
All right.
All right, that's it for sports history, brought to you by Your Daily Local. Visit yourdailylocal.com for the news you need when you need it. We'll be right back with the things that sting.
Hungry? Watching the game?
Jones Pest Control, your hometown pest control company servicing residential and commercial properties in Warren and surrounding areas since 2015. Sean and his crew will work tirelessly to keep your home or business free of insects to rodents and everything in between. Contact Jones Pest Control at 814-230-9548 and set up an appointment today. And remember, ants, spiders, bees, or mice, don't think twice. call Jones Pest Control, 814-230-9548.
Checkout means sales and services with 2 locations on Warren's East Side. Their garage at 800 Lexington Avenue not only services cars sold by Means, but has knowledgeable staff and modern state-of-the-art equipment waiting to serve their hometown of Warren. Whatever you need, including alignments, tires, brakes, yearly or enhanced PA inspections, oil changes, and much more. Make your appointment today at 814-723-7191, extension 2.
It's now time for the things that sting. The worst stories in sports, according to Joe.
This edition of Things That Sting, powered by Jones Pest Control. Ants, spiders, bees, or mice, don't think twice. Call Jones Pest Control, 814-230-9548. Did you notice that I started the wrong commercial?
I did.
Well, I'm a mediocre podcaster and a terrible producer. Not great.
It happens. It happens.
It does happen. Yeah. If we had, maybe one day we'll have a producer.
This is live TV. What do you expect?
And yeah, there's going to be mistakes. Janet Jackson last week in sports history. Nipple out. They weren't planning for that. Sometimes you got to adapt. APO. That's what Josh Allen always says. APO. Adapt, persevere, overcome.
That's right.
And that's our mantra. Old business we're starting out with. Trevor Bauer will not face charges. The sexual assault charges were accused by a San Diego woman. The ruling concludes a 5-month review where the DA's office considered and rejected filing charges on Bauer for sexual assault. In a statement from the district attorney's office, a review of all the available evidence, they were unable to prove the relevant charges beyond a reasonable doubt, which is what you need in a criminal court. Bauer did respond with a 7-minute video going on and on about his evidence. So we kind of followed that one the whole way through from start to finish. So that's another one we can closed out.
Yep.
For the things that sting. So that's our only old business from today. This one here, we got Alvin Kamara, that everybody's aware of what took place. I did have some times mixed up in what I thought how this happened, because a lot of people said that it happened, or at least I thought they did. Maybe they never did, but I thought it happened after the game, after the Pro Bowl.
From what I understood, it was the night before the Pro Bowl.
It was
arrested him
6:30 in the morning.
Oh, okay. See, I didn't realize it was
Saturday morning, 6:30. So he went out Friday night.
Yep.
And was out, and this took place at 6:30 in the morning. Kamara.
Wait, Saturday or Sunday?
Saturday.
Okay, so this is a whole day and a half before the Pro. Okay, all right.
Correct. And the police were asked why it took so long, why they allowed him to play in the game, and they said it was because of delayed reporting. The victim was hospitalized, obviously, with fractures, orbital fracture, and other injuries. The video shows Alvin Kamara, which the video hasn't been released, so this is what the police are saying they observe in the video. It shows Kamara punching the victim repeatedly before others who are with Kamara stomp the man while he's on the floor. When questioned by police, Kamara told them that he did throw a couple punches. They dispute that, where they say no, it was more than a couple. So what the video shows, though, is that an elevator opens. These Kamara and his crew step to the elevator, where the guy, you can see that they're in each other's faces. Kamara puts his hand on the guy's chest. The guy pushes his hand away, and then it's, the fight is on. So from what I read today, as far as Kamara, and Kamara's crew consisted of his assistant, his girlfriend, and another guy who I don't recall what they said he was, what his association was, but there's more arrests coming from that. And so some of those other guys are actually going to be facing some charges also. He was charged with one felony count of battery resulting in substantial bodily harm. He was bailed out of the Clark County Jail. His next appearance is on March 8th. I actually have a photo of the victim here that I'm about to put up. And I don't know, sometimes when there's like gory stuff on Facebook, they like block it out. So I don't know if we're like going to get kicked off.
We're going to get canceled on Facebook and YouTube.
We might. So I'm putting that up here, though.
That bad.
No, broken orbital. He got pretty dinged up.
Yeah, that looks like more than a couple punches.
Yeah. I think that Kamara's statement it doesn't sound great, but yeah. So again, I don't know if that's going to get us kicked off Facebook forever because I know they like censor a bunch of shit. So if we never see you guys again, Alvin Kamara's fault.
Yeah.
So like I said, March 8th, he's scheduled to be in court to answer to his charges. So moving on, Jeremy Giambi, dead at 47 at his parents' home in Southern California. Not a lot of information on this, but officials have told TMZ that it is a suspected suicide. So
I wondered, I think I sent to you that he passed away, and I did not, again, no details were given, just at the parents' home, and that was it. That's all I saw.
Yeah, the news about it being a potential suicide came out today.
Okay.
So still not a lot on it, like I said, but everybody remembers Jeremy Giambi, brother of Jason. He was featured in the movie Moneyball as part of that analytic built squad. Analytics, so all circles back. So unfortunate, though. I'm 47's young.
Yes.
Mac Etienne, UCLA redshirt freshman, cited by University of Arizona police after allegedly spitting on fans following a 76-66 loss to the Wildcats. He's sitting out the season with a torn knee ligament. However, he is traveling with the team. And video surfaced that this happened not just once, actually, but twice while they were going into the locker room at halftime and following the game. And it's multiple videos from the fans, from the stadium, or the broadcast actually caught it. So he's facing a misdemeanor assault charge for that.
I saw the video. Not cool, but definitely wasn't unprovoked.
No, they were talking mad shit to him.
They were like over the railing.
Yeah. Go back to
I don't know what they were saying. Yeah.
I heard the one video I saw, they were screaming, "Go back to LA."
Okay. And
that would have been following the loss, not at halftime. But
yeah.
He definitely cocks back and does exactly what they're accusing him of.
Yeah.
So and it is a charge. I mean, that is a communicable, especially now. That I have a feeling we're gonna see that charge like become actually even more serious.
Attempted homicide. That's what it'll be. You watch. Attempted homicide.
I fucking wouldn't be surprised. Another arrest we have here. Pete Golding, the Bama defensive coordinator, gets a DUI in Tuscaloosa County. Northport Police Department take him to jail overnight on a DUI charge. This was my favorite part about this entire arrest, because tell me how many times I've been able to say this after we talk about somebody getting arrested, okay?
All right.
Pete Golding released a statement saying he's deeply sorry for his actions that led to his arrest, and that regardless of the outcome, I did not uphold the values I have for myself or the values of Alabama football. It is now my responsibility to earn back the trust of all the people who I've failed.
I feel like there's just a form statement that they give all these people now.
I've never heard that one before.
No, never.
No, it's fucking you. No, I haven't. I'm being serious. The one I usually hear is these charges are incorrect and my client will approve, blah, blah, blah. And like this guy just legitimately took it on the chin. Like I fucked up. I let a lot of people down and I'm going to do what I can to fix it.
Well, okay. So that's fair. That's fair. There are a lot of people when they're denying it, that's what they go with. Anytime people are admitting guilt, that's what it is. I didn't uphold my values. I didn't uphold the organization's values.
Right.
Doesn't happen as often, I suppose. Yeah.
Not even close to as often. I read that. I about fell out of my goddamn chair. I didn't know. These guys don't ever hold themselves accountable. So it was pretty impressive, actually.
I like
Kyler Murray. You like that one?
I love it.
So Kyler Murray, and this goes into things that sting because I just think this is like a total fucking douche move. I'm unhappy with my organization.
Yep.
I'm going to remove all of them from my Twitter account and unfollow them. And this is just like, to me, like drama that. Go ahead.
It's an AB move. It's an AB move. This is an AB move. You don't want to see this from your quarterback.
Well, I think it's a stretch calling him a quarterback to begin with. But this is just ridiculous. I can't stand when these guys do this. Like how, and then you know what? Trey White did this once with the Bills. Yeah. And that'll always be in the back of my head when it comes to that guy. I love Trey White, great football player. But when you get all pissy and you remove all like your bio, you remove them, you unfollow the team, you change your profile picture. Like it's stupid to me. You're under contract. That's your employer. If you're going to put them in there to begin with, then like
maybe he's trying to get him to get rid of Cliff. Maybe this isn't an I want out. Maybe it's like, hey, get me a guy who can actually coach football
in the second half of the season.
Yeah, exactly.
If the Cardinals were smart, they would keep Kingsbury until week 8.
Shit can him before the bye.
Have somebody great lined up.
Yep.
And as soon as you get to week 8, can Kingsbury. You're probably going to be 6-2, 7-1.
Yep.
You know, you're gonna, and then you got somebody fresh coming in who knows their shit and they can carry it through the rest of the season. That team would be the one. They'd be the 1 seed in the NFC.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Anyways, Murray, not a fan. I don't like that shit. I think it's stupid.
I personally hope he fucking leaves the division. That'd be great. Get him out of there.
Who, Murray?
Yeah. Get him out of there.
Well, I can tell you right now, there can't be too many quarterbacks who are like from the NFC. Like you have Rodgers, Wilson, Murray. Like there can't be too many of them who are like looking to go to the AFC.
No. If you don't want to be traded there. You're not going to go sign there. I personally fucking love it. I think it's the greatest thing ever.
Well,
ship them all to the AFC. Let them beat each other.
Trey Lance plays mediocre next year. He's going to be one of the top quarterbacks in the NFC.
Trey Lance right now, the way he played this year, might be a top 5 quarterback in the NFC.
If he does that next year, there's not a whole lot of competition out there.
No, not at all.
So, one comment to get you. Oh, Terry says he's going to unfollow his COD teammate. That's me.
Oh,
take me out of your bio too, Terry. Make sure you do it right. You have to hit every benchmark.
Put the green light in there.
All right, we are heading to my hive, right?
Yep.
Got to get the boys in here. Jones Pest Control. Ant, spiders, bees, or mice. Don't think twice. Call Jones Pest Control, 814-230-9548. Proudly sponsoring the things that sting almost since its existence. Good on them. We appreciate Sean and crew for helping us out. All right, we're going to take a break. We're going to get Miles Dalton in here and Moon Stafford and let them two go at it. Be right with you.
Wait.
Blue Line Auto, located at 1606 Pennsylvania Avenue East in Warren, is locally owned and operated and is a family-run business specializing in vehicle sales and service. They offer state and safety inspections and general car repairs, including but not limited to brakes, rotors, tires, oil changes, batteries, starters, and alternators. They also offer vehicle undercoating prior to winter to help keep your vehicle protected. Currently, their hours are Monday through Wednesday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., and Thursday and Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Call them today to schedule your next appointment at 814-230-9061. Your safety is their goal.
Hi, this is Ryan Klein, the host of the new pop culture podcast, Me, Myself, and Rye. You can find me on Spotify, iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and several other platforms. Special guests, breakaway shows, bonus episodes, cold beers, and a whole lot more. So what are you guys and gals waiting for? Subscribe now to the Me, Myself, and Rye podcast on Spotify or wherever it is that you get your shows and start listening today.
My Hive, Joe's very own world of sports.
My Hive is presented by Blue Line Auto. For all your automotive needs, call Blue Line Auto at 814-230-9061 or stop in at 1606 Pennsylvania Avenue East in Warren. Miles Dalton, Houday. Moon, welcome both you guys.
Houday, brother.
Miles, a pleasure to see you. Moon, fuck off.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Loving the shirts.
You might wonder why I'm wearing this, and I got an answer for you, okay? Because it's smooth sailing for the Rams to win another world championship, okay?
That's a fantastic outfit you have on. You old sailor, you. Yeah. And then we have Sketty, who said he needed time in between these segments. Now I see why. He bought himself a Team Burrow shirt. Holy shit. All right.
Get an actual Bengals shirt. Closest we could get.
Closest. All right. Well, hey, you did good. So let's get rolling. Now I know it's at the Rams Stadium. Hopefully they have more people show up to the game in support of them than they did to their stupid little pep rally that they held. Did you guys happen to catch that? The 2,000 people who showed up to that? Moon, did you go?
No.
We had half the fan base on the podcast last week.
That's good. It's a good point. So the Bengals have been appointed home team, though, because it alternates, from my understanding, year to year. So, Moon, you're going to be up first. Give us your take on why the Rams ship is going to sail to another championship.
Well, it's whether it was Zach Taylor's fault or whether it was Sean McVay's fault a couple years ago, who cares? It's water under the proverbial bridge, as the captain would say. But we're really going to get to see whose fault it was. Was it Zach Taylor, or was it McVay being shell-shocked and starstruck going up against Belichick, which the same could be said, Taylor going up against his old boss. So I think that's going to be a big deal. And I really think it doesn't come down to the Rams offense. I think it comes down to the Rams defense. And whether that's Jalen Ramsey putting up and shutting up, Aaron Donald showing the whole world why he's the best, one way or the other, I think it's going to come down to the Rams defense. And there's going to be some interesting, they've been putting everybody up against everybody, some pick'ems, and who's going to be that difference maker? Is it going to be OBJ or is it going to be Jefferson having that big game? And the same can be said, I think, for for the Bengals, is it going to be Boyd or is it going to be Higgins? And to Zach Taylor's credit, I really like after Uzama got hurt, what he did with Higgins in the second half of that game. And wait, I got more.
Miles, good to see you, by the way. Did you hear what I called you earlier in the opening segment?
No, I didn't hear that. I heard the Miles Dalton call.
Well, in the opening segment, you were gigantic fucking Andy Dalton.
Hey, the gyms are back open, so
I seen your picture. I seen your pictures. You're hitting it hard. I'm telling you, keep on track. Next year, you'll be protecting Joe Burrow because they could use all the help on that offensive line that they could find. So I think you'd be in good shape to get down there and get yourself a tryout.
I'll take it, brother.
Miles, tell us why the Bengals are going to beat the shit out of the Rams on Sunday.
It's so funny that Moon has a naval theme, because one of the things I wrote in my notes was two ships passing in the night. Like, I think you have a real contrast in teams here. You have one in the Rams that is a very much win now, mortgage the future, chips all in type approach. Versus the Bengals, kind of like slow and steady, build in the off season, cultural kind of like cohesion type approach, right? So, I mean, I think the pressure's really on the Rams to win this game, and I think, it's not like there's not pressure on the Bengals, to win this game, but I just feel like there's a lot more nervous energy from the Rams. I was watching the ESPN kickoff, and they interviewed Stafford and Burrow, and then they interviewed Zach Taylor, and then they interviewed McVay head to head. And it really feels like there's a bit more of a tenseness to the Rams coming into this game. And that can help motivate a team, but it can also be a detriment. Another weird contrast is actually in our quarterbacks, where I just read something that Matt Stafford, as a first overall pick, took 13 years to get to a Super Bowl, which I guess is the longest time for a first overall pick to get to a Super Bowl. The shortest amount of time for a first overall pick to get to the Super Bowl, Joe Burrow. And again, when I watched that head-to-head, yeah, sorry, yeah, year two. And watching that kind of head-to-head interview, man, like when they say ice in the veins, Joey does not care. So I think as long as Joe is on 2 feet, which is, going to be kind of a task for them to do because they are facing just like a really terrifying pass rush, we have a chance to win this game.
All right. So a couple things that I wanted to touch on that you said that I completely agree with. Now, don't let my name down here, Joe Cup, fool you. The only reason I picked Joe Cup was because when I watch Cooper, it kind of reminds me of watching myself play flag football. There's so many similarities.
Settle down, Joe BJ.
Joe BJ. See, I've been called that before. Joe BJ. That's true. So it's not. I mean, that is true. I've been called that, but obviously I'm not that good at flag football. But anyways, what I like what you said, Miles, is the ship's passing thing. Because where the Rams are right now, with what did we decide last week? It was 4 picks they have left this coming draft, right? 4 picks, yeah. And the first one's not till like the 3rd or the 5th or something like that.
Yeah, the Niners got more picks from the McDaniel trade than the Rams have this year.
That's actually, the signing. Yeah,
you're signing, right. Not trade. Yeah.
But anyways, I really do think that the windows that these two teams have are so fucking far apart from each other. The Bengals have announced like, hey, we're obviously here to stay for a while. And I think that goes in saying with what the AFC looks like right now with the Chiefs, the Chargers, the Bills, like these young quarterbacks, they're building a core around them. Those teams are going to be around for a while. Whereas with the Rams, and everybody and you know what? And I probably will be eating these words in a while because Les Snead always finds a fucking way to bring more guys in and dish out more picks and sign them to these contracts that, well, I don't know if it's crypto or what the hell it is that they're doing, but they're making these guys stick around somehow. But if you look at it realistically, there's no chance that we're going to be having this same conversation about the Rams in 2 years, 3 years. I just can't see how it's possible. So totally agree with that. If we were awarding points right now, I would give Moon 1 for his outfit, and I would give Miles 1 for bringing up the window difference, and I just like the way he put that. So, Sketty, what do you got?
I don't remember. I think it was Miles that said it about the Rams' defensive line. I really think that unless the Rams' defensive line dominates and puts Burrow on his back, the Rams don't have a prayer in hell in this game. Joe Burrow just has ice in the veins. If they can't knock him off his game, it's not going to be a game.
But the Rams are built for a shootout too. I mean, if that's the way it's got to go, they can play that.
I don't know that they're built for a shootout. They can't score in the second half. They put 10 up against the Niners. I guess that was good.
They played other teams all year, Scotty.
Yeah, they scored. They scored 10 points against the Bucs in the second half. 7 points in the second half. You think you're going to do that to Joe Burrow?
That's all they needed.
I think one of the elements that's kind of underrated about the big focus is going to be on Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. But one of the underrated elements of the Bengals that is kind of unheralded is how good this defense is played. In the Cincinnati circles, they're calling Lou Anarumo the mad scientist. There's a working theory that actually they withheld all the adjustments that they were going to make against the Kansas City Chiefs till after halftime because they know that Andy Reid is actually a good halftime adjustments coach, but not necessarily an adjustments on the fly type guy, right? So they started running different coverages that were confusing the hell out of Patrick Mahomes. And, Matt Stafford led the league in interceptions this year. And if it weren't for a dropped interception against the Niners, we might be playing the Niners for the third time in the Super Bowl, right? So, Bingo. I mean, if Stafford can come out and ball out, and a defensive line, can eat Burrow alive and get 10, 15-yard sacks, it's a different story. But I feel like this defense is really going to gum things up. It's going to be probably a low-scoring affair. And it's really going to come down to the little things like you said, man, where it's just who is the secondary pieces that's going to come out, right? We both of our tight ends are injured, but I really want to see CJ Uzomah get some of these nice chunk plays in the middle that we've been missing to keep this offense rolling, right?
Well, and like Taylor did with is it Perrine, the other running back that had that big play a couple weeks ago? Yep. And stuff like that. These guys have that kind of shit in their playbook that they're just waiting to bring out. And it's pretty evident because every time they bring a play like that out, it works to perfection every time. So, whether it's somebody taking a chance on special teams or some trick play, we're going to see it,
So you mentioned Uzomah. I want to see this Skyline chili bath.
Yeah, me too, buddy. He made two promises. He was gonna jump in a bathtub full of Skyline chili if he wins, but also his other promise at the beginning of the year was he was gonna get Joe Burrow just absolutely blitheringly drunk, after the game. So I want to see both of those.
Maybe we'll have a flashback from last year where Brady drank all that tequila and they were carrying him off the boat.
Yeah. I'd love to see that.
So yeah. What's the line? I haven't looked.
It's been going down. I think it's 3.5 now.
Rams favored?
Yeah.
Oh, they are. I have it at 4 on the Score app, but that's not any of the betting apps I use or anything. But man, that's a lot of points. I don't know. Yeah, I'm
Bengals by 3.
Is that your prediction, Sketty?
The Simpsons called it. Bengals beat the Rams 34-31.
That's false. It was the Chargers. That was an altered
is it
meme
Chargers?
that you looked at. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, they
Still an LA team. We'll call it close enough.
people switch that up to make it, internet stuff.
I saw it and I said, man, that would be the Simpsons does that.
Couple predictions in the comments. Rams by 4, Kalen, Bengals by 50.
Kalen's probably going to be the closest.
It might be. I don't know if I want to gauge how confident he is, because I might put a wager on a alternate spread about 30, 35. See what kind of money I can get into there. No, in all honesty, I mean, it's everybody that I've talked to. I mean, aside from fans of each team, there's very few people who I've seen that are like dead set on one side in this matchup. They're just excited that it's two teams that we haven't seen. I mean, of course, the Rams were there a few years ago, but it's a fresh Super Bowl. It's without Brady, for one. It's without the Patriots. It's just there's a lot of freshness to this game that I think a lot of people can just breathe and watch it and not be, dead set against one team or the other. And it's, I think that either way it goes, I'll be happy with the outcome, because, if the Bengals win it, cool. They're a fun young team that I enjoy watching. The Rams win it, great for Matt Stafford. Guy's put up with a lot of shit in his career, and he's kept his mouth shut the entire time. Just played hard and played injured. He did a lot of things that a lot of people never even recognize, because who the fuck watches Detroit, right? So
yep.
I think that any way this game goes, and it has the best halftime show of any NFL Super Bowl that we've ever experienced. Shut up, Sketty.
Miles
until you see it,
because his brother Ed Sheeran didn't make the cut.
What? Oh, Miles wasn't on last week. Tell him what we decided this feud between you two actually is called.
It's Jason Momoa's older brother against Ed Sheeran's brother. We could be our own Super Bowl commercial.
This is what I had to deal with last week, Miles.
Yeah.
This is what I had to deal with.
Well, in Miles's defense, though, I didn't tell him that we were doing like maybe a 2-part fan rant thing. And I didn't even know that till that day. I'm like, oh yeah, I guess there's a week off. What are we going to do? And I just was like, oh, we'll just have him on twice. And then I text Miles and he's like, dude, I got shit going on. I thought it was next week. And I was like, fair. But then it actually worked out, Miles, because I brought in 2 Rams fans just to completely harass Sketty about the Niners game.
Oh, brutal.
I mean,
I've never seen 2 guys so excited about beating a bum quarterback by 3 points. You should have seen it, Miles.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
You don't have to put bum in air quotes. Jimmy Garoppolo is, in fact, a bum.
On the list, Joe. You're on the list.
Let me ask you this, Sketty. Do you think Trey Lance is the guy?
I hope so. I don't think he has to be very great to be the guy. I mean, you saw what they did with Jimmy and his, okay numbers. Just don't turn the ball over, and we'll see. If you're asking from what I've seen of him this year, no, I'm not convinced at all that he's the guy. I always tell Joe he's kind of got a little Josh Allen to him, it seems like. He shows these flashes of just, man, this guy could be brilliant. And then he shows this other stuff where it's like, have you ever played football before? Do you understand what a throwing lane is? Like, how are you 6'4" and get 5 balls batted at the line of game? So we'll see. But I think that team's solid enough and the NFC is weak enough that he'll be okay.
Well, I think too, with Trey Lance, since we're on the subject, the Josh Allen comparisons really come from his body type, his arm strength, and a small school guy. And if you remember when the draft comes along, they start doing these commercials for these picks that are coming up and everything. And there was a commercial made where Josh Allen was like reading a message to Trey Lance. It was specifically for him about like block out, all the negativity that people are going to say about where you came from and the type of player you are, and just do your thing. And that, I mean, clearly it's worked for Allen. I'm not saying it's going to work for Lance. I'd like to see it work for Lance because I do, like I said, with the exception of Carson Wentz, because I just think he's a fucking tool. I like these small school quarterbacks who are coming through and just guys who never would have got a look in there. And to me, that's inspiration to the larger pool of people in our country who don't get a shot because of where they grew up, or the teams, they might go to a school that doesn't get a lot of scouting attention. And I mean, Josh Allen's story speaks for that on its own. So I don't want to make it all about him. I mean, I do kind of like that guy, but we'll stick to your guys'.
I kind of have a question for you guys. Speaking of people who aren't being talked about, are either run game going to play a role in this game, or are we just going to see a 50 passes screw running the ball? Because both of you have decent run games, and I feel that are underutilized at times. Whoever wants to start. Moon?
I mean, they say that Akers has something going on with his shoulder. I think he's going to be at 100%. Obviously they've been feeding him the ball more than Sony Michel the last couple of weeks, but it's that 30-yard run that gets broken off that switches the hot hand, and then whoever the first guy is to get that kind of gets fed the ball a little bit more. And I think the same can be said on the other side with Cincinnati. I mean, Mixon only had a handful of games where he went over 100 yards. I mean, usually he's in like that 80 to 90 yard range, but where he kills it is he'll throw on another 50, 60 receiving yards on top of that,
Miles, what do you got? Joey Mixon gonna play a role?
I think if we want to win this game, he has to play some sort of a role.
I agree.
I was looking at. I mean, how else are you gonna offset this pass rush? Like, if we find ourselves in a situation where we're in obvious passing downs because we're down like a score, down 10 points, that's where he's gonna get absolutely crushed. So, I mean, in order to kind of keep like Aaron Donald and Von Miller on their toes, like, we're going to have to pound the rock at them. So I was just looking at like the Chiefs game. He got about 88 yards against that Chiefs defense. I've heard that the linebackers for the Rams are kind of soft. So maybe once we get to kind of the second level, we can get some more kind of chunk plays. But I'll give you guys a couple. Like you guys mentioned, like P. Ryan, I was kind of surprised to see he could actually, catch the ball, because he flubbed one and caused an interception earlier in the playoffs. But a name that I haven't heard all this whole postseason that I think people, might want to keep an eye on for, an interesting kind of fun, gadget or trick, or just kind of like a interesting play, is Chris Evans. We drafted that guy out of Michigan, and he can catch the ball and he can run with it, but we have not seen anything from him. So I don't know. I'm kind of hoping they're kind of saving him, for the big game, and we can see some him catching some balls and stuff. But if we're gonna win this game, we gotta establish the run for sure.
Do they have an over/under on the Icky Shuffle?
Ooh, that's a hot prop bet.
That is 100%
chance. 100% chance of an Icky Shuffle.
Who's singing the national anthem?
That's a great question.
Does anybody know who's singing the national anthem?
It's California, so they might not even be doing it.
Actually,
that's possible.
It's not. Yeah, that's probably true, because I haven't seen like that. Usually that shit's known, right? I mean,
right.
It's usually a pretty big deal.
You guys talk about something. I'm going to look that up.
They usually have like the prop bet, right? Like, does the national anthem go over whatever, minute and a half, whatever the heck it is? I've got no idea.
Beats me on that one.
Oh, it's okay. I found it. It is Grammy Award nominated country music artist Mickey Guyton.
Okay.
Who I've never heard of in my entire life.
Yeah, it rings a bell. Couldn't name a song.
Well, after Sunday, you'll be able to name one, the national anthem.
Yeah. They got to balance out that halftime show with a little bit of country on the front end. Too.
That's a fair point, Miles. Actually, yeah, maybe that is what they're doing. They should just have Dre sing it. He's going to be there.
Yeah.
I don't see what the problem with that would be. Derek in the comments says the halftime show sponged up all the talent. It's fucking right it did, and I can't wait for that halftime show. Usually I never pay attention to halftime shows. I think the last one I paid attention to was Red Hot Chili Peppers, and the time before that was Janet's Tit.
Yep. I'm still intrigued. I'm still intrigued by the halftime show. I don't think it's going to be nearly as awesome as people are making it out to be. We'll see. Maybe I'll be wrong. I've been wrong before.
I can tell you right now. You're already wrong. It's gonna fucking wail.
I hope so.
Moon, all right. So Super Bowl parties. What are we doing? What do you guys got planned? Miles, where are you guys? Where are you going?
Believe it or not, there's actually like another really hardcore Bengals fan in town, and it's actually funny. He's getting a lot of media.
That is unbelievable
because it's like, oh, what's the angle? There's a Canadian who's a Bengals fan. So
that's not that unbelievable to me. Canada has free reign to pick whatever fucking team you want.
It's true.
Yeah. So
that's kind of what I love about it. Like everybody's kind of got their own different thing going on.
I mean, now if you go against like the Blue Jays or something, then people probably got a problem with you a little bit, right?
Yep. Yeah. I mean, it's really like I think I told you earlier, like the Southern Ontario region, kind of where I am, we're about an hour and a half from Buffalo. So like it is dominated by a lot of Buffalo fans, but you got it's like anywhere else. Like you got, your Steelers, your Dallas fans, like even like Niners fans and stuff like that. Like the Dynasty.
Tell me what's a Canadian Steelers fan like?
Insufferable.
Okay, so same as America.
Except for does that same Steelers fan? Does he still think that Mario Lemieux is the best, or is it Wayne Gretzky?
The Pittsburgh fans are. I mean, obviously, we're like 2.5 hours north of Pittsburgh, so our area, and I think I've explained this to you before, like where the three of us are. In the northwestern piece of Pennsylvania, we're a couple hours from Cleveland, an hour and a half from Buffalo, 2 hours from Pittsburgh. So it's like a fine mix of the tri-state area as far as fans go. But I was just curious if Steelers fans were as miserable up there as they are down here.
Kalen, who's on the chat, is actually one of the good ones. He's rooting for us in the Super Bowl, so I got to give him a shout out. But generally,
Kalen. Kalen's on Going for Two, correct?
Correct, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm going to see Kalen on Sunday because I'm going on their show towards the end of their show because I work until like 3, and then I'm going to come home and hop on with them for a few. Kalen, let me know in the comments if I'm allowed to swear on your podcast because I have been on a few where I didn't get a warning, and I talk. It's just how I talk. It's not for show or anything like that. It's just my nature. I don't know where I got it, but yeah. So go back to the Blue Jays thing. Is that like where you're at? Do you have to be a Blue Jays fan? Is that like the majority? Everybody loves Toronto.
Yeah. I think the general. When you grow up in these kind of parts, you're kind of naturally branded being a Blue Jays fan and a Leafs fan. I mean, I don't think I told you this, but I'm actually I grew up I'm in Brantford, which is actually Gretzky's hometown. I'm about 5 blocks from where he actually learned to skate on his dad's in his dad's backyard. So obviously he plays a big role here. But it's a hockey town, major Leafs center, Blue Jays, Ticats for CFL football. And then kind of pick your NFL team.
Is CFL real? I mean, I'd assume it is. It's real popular there, right? Do a lot of people love the CFL like they do the NFL?
Well, the ironic thing is that it's this is kind of the bigger populated area, So they tend to we tend to focus more on the NFL. But if you were to go to the prairies, it is all things to them. Like if you go to Saskatchewan, which has about like 1 million people for the entire province, they are hardcore Rough Riders fans. But it's a good game. It is a good game. It's a fun game to watch because it's the 3 downs is actually a lot faster.
Yep.
Side note question: is it true that people from Newfoundland are like do you call them Newfies?
Not to their face.
Is that so? Is that offensive to them?
Yes and no. Like it's kind of like a term of endearment. Like I think they would call themselves that, but it's just kind of, Newfie, you Newfie, right?
Yeah. Well, I used to work in the casino industry. So there was a guy who I worked with who was from Canada, and he was actually very high up in the casino industry, but he'd always come down and we'd talk a lot. And he would always talk about Newfies, and he never really had anything good to say. Like he made it sound like they were like the cave people of Canada, if that makes sense.
Their industry was so much based on fishing. So when that kind of collapsed, obviously they fell on some hard times. Honestly, I've never been there. I would love to go there, but
are they like,
I would honestly say,
would they welcome you? Like, is that cool to do? Like, can you go there?
They are like world famous for being some of the most neighborly, friendly people. Like I think
really,
yeah. There was actually like a play about during 9/11 when the planes had to find places to land. There were a bunch of Americans that just landed in St. John's, Newfoundland, and they were kind of basically became like an extended family. They're very famous for being extremely friendly people.
I think Derek's making fun of the way I said it because I probably said it wrong. Is it Newfoundland? Newfoundland? How do you say it?
They would say Newfoundland because they kind of sound like Irish. Yeah.
Okay.
Newfoundland.
Copy that. All right, boys. Any final thought? Let's get some final Super Bowl thoughts, predictions, and we'll wrap this up.
Rams 34, Bengals 25.
All right.
Is that a score, Galani?
Who's the MVP?
Aaron Donald.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Who was the last defensive MVP? Derek Brooks?
Was Brooks the MVP?
Wasn't he? No. Yeah.
I don't remember.
I'm pretty sure he was.
Brooks?
All right. Keep talking. I'm Googling.
I just see the Rams getting out ahead early, and unlike the Chiefs game where Burrow brought them back, he starts bringing them back. Aaron Donald dials him up a few times. The shooting match is over. We let up a junk touchdown to make it look a little bit better, but that's where it's at for me.
Moon, I just to counter your point, if it's 34 to 25,
yeah,
is that what you said? Aaron Donald isn't winning MVP, but 34. If that's the score, he ain't winning MVP.
All right, I needed a 4 and a 5 because that's what I have in Super Bowl pools. Okay,
all right,
I was wrong.
So 14 to 5 is where you wanted to go with that.
Yeah.
It was 14 to 5.
So it wasn't Derek Brooks, it was Dexter Jackson.
Yeah, okay, yep.
Right.
So I was wrong there. But he wasn't the last one. The last one was Von Miller. And before that, Malcolm Smith. So there's actually been a couple. Seattle had Malcolm Smith and then Von Miller in the that was the Cam Newton game, right?
Yeah.
Scam Newton?
Yes. Scammer.
Yeah. So, all right. Miles, close us out.
First of all, I just want to say that I think that score prediction is pretty bold from, coming from a guy who roots for the team who scored 3 points in a Super Bowl. I don't know, like, I can't really think of like them like running up the score in the playoffs, but I could be wrong. But I mean, I'll quote what I heard from a Los Angeles journalist about Joe Burrow, which is this guy reminds me of Joe Montana. Like, this guy had just like the determination to win. And, you know, I think these Rams are going to be playing a little scared. I'm not talking about Aaron Donald or Von Miller. Those guys are going to come to play. But I think Stafford might be a little tight. And I think McVay might be a little tight. Like, if things don't go exactly the way they want, like, I could see them getting like a little like, oh, what about my future? What about my career? Right? Because they got to win this game. So, you know, I would see something kind of more like in the neighborhood of like 21-24 Bengals, 17 Rams. That's how we're going to win the game. I think we'll have a surprisingly good defensive performance because, you know, Zach Taylor was the quarterback's coach for the Rams the last time they went to the Super Bowl. And also Brian Callahan was Stafford's QB coach in Detroit. So we're familiar with these guys. They're gonna give Lou Anarumo all the information he needs to gum up this offense, and we're gonna surprise the world the same way we've been doing all playoffs.
All right. Well, hey,
Sketty was gonna get a fuck-tart jersey on behalf of me and my other Rams fan, but it seems like the way you were kissing his ass about 3 points and sucking him off about how great the Niners are, looks like he's already gotten his gift from you, Mike.
I'm still looking forward to the fuck-tart jersey. I'm looking forward. That's one of the silver linings if the Rams win. I get to rock a fuck-tart jersey. And it better be one of the sweet blue and yellow ones.
Do you want number 3 on it, or you want a different number?
3 is fine.
All
Three is fine, but I want a throwback blue and yellow, not this faded number garbage. I want a good one.
Hey, so just so you guys know too, next week the show is what we're doing is like basically an open air show. We're posting the link in the comments and we're just letting whoever wants to join. So Miles, when the Bengals win, you can hop on and you know, right at the get-go of the show, you can just go nuts and celebrate and do, you know, pop some bottles, let your dog make an appearance. I like when you post stuff with your dog. That dog's cool. But yeah, so you guys, you know, free to hop on next week too. Obviously, you know, if your team wins, you should probably be here because you've been here the whole way through the playoffs. So,
well, I have a special Cincinnati themed T-shirt just in case. Okay?
Just you definitely win the best dress for the fan rant, Moon.
Yeah, if I'll say this, if LA wins, in an homage to a lot of the LA fans, I won't show up.
Well, actually, Miles, you would have to first exist in order to not show up.
Fair point.
Keep that in mind. Don't go if the Bengals lose. I don't want to have to be sending any Canadian police to do a welfare check on you. Okay, so you keep it cool up there. All right.
They won't be able to get through with all the tractor trailers.
Oh yeah.
Road. Oh yeah, there's some traffic up there right now, isn't there?
Fun times.
All right, boys. Thanks for being on, and we'll hear from hopefully both of you next week if you can jump on. And I would say rightfully, whoever loses should still come on because you've been giving out your lumps. You got to come take them too, right?
All right.
Fair enough.
All right. See you, fellas.
All right. Good luck,
Thanks,
Miles.
See you guys.
Cheers. Who
Good stuff.
Real good.
I like Miles. We need to keep him around for sure.
I agree.
I mean, I like Moon too, obviously, but Moon's not going anywhere. He's like literally 3 houses down the street from me right now.
Yeah. Fine.
Yeah, but Miles has been a fun addition. We need to keep him coming back. So, all right. So real quick again, just want to, as I did just announce, just keep in mind next week is the whoever the hell wants to join us show. I think we can have like 10 people at once. It'll probably like blow up the feed and the internet and everything will break. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Real quick, thank the sponsors: Swing Juice, Napoli's Your Daily Local, Mean Sales and Service, Jones Pest Control, Me, Myself, and Ride Podcast, and Blue Line Auto. Thank you guys for supporting us as well. All the listeners and the comments and the likes and the people who are tuning in. Appreciate you guys as well. Something I did find out today, Sketty, is somebody who's active on our Facebook page still didn't know that we do the live shows. So I don't know why the live doesn't like pop up in news feeds,
Really?
maybe. Yeah. So I don't know if
That is weird.
I'm almost wondering if maybe, I don't know, we'll look at some stuff, but maybe like cut Twitter out of the live and just do YouTube and Facebook and try that. And maybe that'll get more, I don't know. There's got to be a reason for it. I don't know why, but we'll try and figure that out if we can, because it seems a lot of the people who are on the Facebook page still don't know that there's live videos that we do on there.
That shocks me because I get the stupid notifications all the time that like some random person I haven't talked to in 8 years is live on Facebook, and it's like I don't care. You know?
Maybe that's what they see.
They're just like, not another one. Shut up.
Every week these guys need to give it a break. All right, so again, thank you everybody. We'll be back next week with the final episode of season 1 before the little vacation from the show, in which we are going to do a little reboot and figure everything out. And it looks like potentially St. Patrick's Day.
Yes.
So that could be real interesting. Yeah, because I think I'm off too. So
oh baby.
Yeah, that could be like a drinking celebration show. Who knows? We'll see.
I like it.
So again, thank you everybody. Until next time, which is a week from tonight. Take care. Be safe.